Just say in any district, if you had the power to implement things or ideas to assist our young people on a high school level or even on an elementary level, what are some of the things that you would implement in order to maybe prepare them for college or have them, their mindset ready for the higher learning? Because as you said, there's a lot of schools that they really don't provide that. What are some of your ideas? If you just say, for hypothetically, you had the power, because you do have the power because, you know, you have the information. But just hypothetically, what would you do if we could implement something through the Board of Education right now in order to help our young people?
I believe the Board of Ed should have certain systems in place because each student learns differently.
Yes.
And you just can't put all students in one box.
Right.
Some students are slower learners, some students are faster learners. And what you want to do is put systems in place based on the student's skill level. In addition to that, I think the parents should be involved.
Yes.
The parents should be also motivated, you know, and be involved in the process, because once you exclude them, then there's no way for the student to go, because if it doesn't work in the school, then the parents don't know what's going on. So there's certain system needs to be in place in terms of working with each individual student. But they don't do that. They throw all students in one box, and you get the few that are very talented and skillful and graduate and go on, but the other students are left behind. Two, they need to bring back trades, because college is not for everybody, although that's the particular field I'm in, but colleges is not for everybody. Some students are crafty, that more skillful with their hands.
Yes.
You know, so they need to in place certain systems in school for those students that are crafty. You know, so I mean, there's other things they need to do to make sure everybody develops skills and talents so they can go on and advance their life. It doesn't necessarily have to be in college, but it could be a trade. It could be someone that could be that's in mechanics. It could be someone that, you know, doing something that's totally opposite of what colleges have to offer.
Right. Okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, one of my views on school is that I think they should upgrade the learning material, especially dealing with history. I mean, you have your science. I mean, that stuff is kind of like, you know, factual. You know, you're doing different things that it still has the same makeup. Math, all that stuff is kind of repetitive. But I think the historical information, I think it needs to be upgraded, because it still leaves out a lot of stuff that we've contributed to.
Right.
I mean, everybody has their little piece. You know, this different group discovered this. This different group created this.
Right.
This group created this. But when it comes to us, you know, either we were slaves, you know what I mean, or, you know, we worked in someone's house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I really think that they need to upgrade some of the learning material.
Right.
And I think that will also make our young people feel proud and feel good about themselves in order for them to even think about going to the next stage, because they know that they have the power within. You know, you have a certain pride because me, myself, I really didn't, you know, I really didn't connect too much with some of the learning material, and that's why I'm discussing it now. You know what I mean? Some of the historical stuff, it just didn't sit well with me. You know what I mean? It just did it, because in the back of my mind, I knew inside that, you know what, we were kings. We were kings and queens.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, all this other slave business and all this other stuff, I mean, okay, you give a little bit of that, because I'm sure a lot of different cultures had their downsides. But let our young people know, okay, some of the major contributions that we actually made to America and all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you do your investigation, you have a lot of scientists, a lot of people that created the things, but then they had an African-American assistant. You know what I'm saying? Or someone that, you know, was behind the scenes that never got recognition. So we have contributed to a lot of things, and I think once they change some of the historical information, I think that also allow our young people to be proud, you know what I mean, you know, stand up with their chest out and stop all this foolishness.
Right. I think you're 100% right. I think from a historical standpoint, I think, you know, young people, especially from African descent or even minorities across the country, need to have an understanding, you know, of their history. You know, obviously, those that are here that were enslaved. We're all Americans, and we still not even treated that way. But from a historical standpoint, you know, a lot of things started in Egypt when you talk about queens and kings. In fact, the word itself, chemistry, if you knew your history, chemet means black people. When you talk about mystery, it really means black magic. So that's where the term chemistry came from. You know, the Europeans took that and called it something else. But in other words, chemistry means science.
Yes.
And it came from the motherland. You know, so a lot of things are distorted in terms of education. I think it confuses the young people when you have that distortion. Now, if you have a foundation, understand where you come from, you know exactly where to go, because you'd have a strong foundation.
Right,
You have
right.
leadership. So right now, I mean, it's a good thing right now. You have Obama, he's the president. It's symbolic,
Yes.
you know, but
Wonderful.
still, the distance from him being the president and young people today, you need to know the certain steps to get there, and the foundation is knowing your history.
Right, and even with Obama, I mean, I'm seeing stuff that I've never ever seen before with any other president. They may reflect on different things, but the way the Congressional Party speaks about him in public, the slandering, I mean, the nonsense that they're doing, you know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth to even look at some of these older people and see the way that they, you know, disrespect each other and disrespect our president. So I mean, we got a lot of work to do, brother.
Right, right. That's just part of the distortion, and what you talked about earlier about the education. Once
Yes.
you have in history, know the history, you get an understanding how propaganda, you know, how misinformation is delivered, and how the information is distorted.
Right. All right, brother. Well, listen, man. This is a very this was great, man. I don't even have a word to describe it. You know, I wish we had more time.
Yes.
I wish we had more time. But once again, I'd like to thank our viewers for watching another edition of College Block. Peace.